What is up, everyone? Welcome to AVF Replay. This week in music in 10 minutes-ish.
We'll take it.
Yeah, it is November 18th, and I am your host, Chloe West, joined by my two beautiful co-hosts.
Who's going? I'm going first.
You go first.
I'm Jason Ikeler.
Hi, I'm Whitney Lane.
And let's get right into this week in music. Tonight on The Voice, we had the top 12 performed. I mean, they cut it down from last week. And basically, all we know now is that once it gets into the final three, they'll have original songs.
I'm actually really excited about the original songs because I feel like The Voice needs something to catapult somebody into stardom.
Yeah.
Because 7 seasons in and we still don't have a household name.
We need a little something. I'm not loving anybody a ton right now, so I'm ready to see what they can bring with their own songs.
Yeah, I'm not loving anyone really either,
Yeah.
which is super surprising because normally there's someone who I'm just riding along the whole trip with. And right now I'm kind of jumping back and forth between a few people, so...
And I would say there's not really a voice this season.
Yeah.
Nobody I'm like consistently blown away by.
Yeah,
True.
I agree, which
That's
is
true.
weird.
Sorry.
Speaking of being blown away, though, Jason, blow us away.
Oh, well, funny you say that. This week in gay music, let's talk about Nick Jonas.
Well, yes.
Wait, he's straight.
No, he's totally straight.
Okay.
But his new album is appealing to the gay community and he's been doing a lot of gay press.
Yeah.
This is not relevant to what I'm going to talk to you about at all. But Nick Jonas, the album, it's out now. It came out last week. It's really good. There's a sick duet with Demi Lovato. I interviewed Nick Jonas's mom this weekend.
What?
And if you're interviewing Nick Jonas's mom, there's a couple things you want to know about. But mainly, what does she think about all of his nudie pics that he's been doing?
Ooh.
So I asked her. This is my interview with Denise Jonas. So on a lighter note,
Yes.
Nick is obviously killing it right now with his new album. He's doing a lot of adult-themed photo shoots. I enjoy it. As a mom, what's it like? Because I'm like, I don't know if I'd want my mom looking at my booty. What does it feel like for you to see that stuff?
You know, I saw his booty when he was born, so like he has a great booty. I think, you know,
Might as well.
I love my son. I'm not going to show my booty, but I'm glad he's making his own choices, and he's going to do what he wants to do. Otherwise, what kind of a parent would I be if I tried to control him as an adult, right?
A bad one. You're a good mom. Hello.
Thank you. That's very kind. Now, thanks for the compliment of his booty.
She is actually very, very sweet and very supportive of all of her kids' careers.
I mean,
Wow.
she's talk about like a big mom in the industry.
Right.
She had three of her kids were the biggest band in the world at one point.
People scream for those kids louder
my
than
God.
ever in your life.
In your whole life. We've all experienced it.
So it's all good.
I also want to introduce you guys to a new artist named Sinclair. She just released her debut EP and think like Tegan and Sarah pop.
Okay.
It's very, very good. Her story is what does it for me, though. So she was raised in a family of 9 in
Wow.
upstate New York. Her dad was a pastor, very, very religious. She came out as a lesbian, and her family was not okay with it. So she left, moved to Nashville, and then made a hit album.
Wow.
So I talked to her about that experience a little bit.
when
So
did
we're
you
going to
come out
watch
to
a
your
clip from
family?
that.
2010.
So were you still in New York at that point?
I was still living in New York.
Okay. With
Yeah,
them or?
With them.
Oh, wow. How did that
Yeah.
go?
I moved out 9 months after I told them,
Okay.
and it didn't go well.
Okay.
And trying to think, it wasn't any better than I expected it to
Okay.
be. But you know, I think one of the things actually about the music that I'm so excited about is there's one song on there called "This Too Shall Pass."
Yeah, that's a
And-
really good one.
And it's kind of a little bit of my story from that time, because and honestly, I was just trying to talk myself through it and
Yeah.
think that things were gonna get better, and
So
I didn't really
such an incredible
see
story,
the other
but
side.
basically she took
I think
this
it's hard to when
bad
you're
thing
in
that
it.
happened to her and turned it into an album. Now kids can
Exactly,
listen
and
to
that's
it.
what the song's
One of
about,
the
it's
most
just like-
intense interviews I've done, you can hear me just go, okay, right. Because that's like hitting close to home, but really good album. It's
Wow.
on iTunes now.
Cool.
Nice.
In some very different news, over the weekend, I adopted a cat with the help of Kesha.
I cannot believe this happened.
So I was at a party for cats, and Kesha was there, and I've interviewed her a lot at Rising Star. And so we're just hanging out, and she talked me into adopting a cat. I mean, I was obviously 100% gung-ho for it, but I launched my YouTube channel this week, and so the full video of this is up there, but this is just a little sneak preview of me adopting a cat with Kesha. Enjoy. I know. Not only did I get a cat, I got a cat with Kesha. If you're picking on a cat with Kesha, Kesha has to name your cat. We are adopting a cat, and what are we going to name it?
I don't know. Maybe Dreamcatcher.
Okay, let's just try it. Dreamcatcher.
Little Dream.
Oh my God, Little Dream?
Oh my God.
So guys, I have a cat that's destined to be a superstar, named by Kesha. But it was actually good to see Kesha because there's so much bad things in the press about her right now with this Dr. Luke scandal. She's in a really good place. She was just happy with cats, and I have a cat named by Kesha.
I just love the idea of you coming home to your roommates and then being like, why didn't you tell us you're getting a cat? And then you being like, Kesha made me do it.
And the name one more time.
Dreamcatcher.
Amazing.
All right.
Little Dream for short.
Adorable.
That was quite the spectrum of your gay music news.
Yes, it definitely was. This week is a huge week for movies, you guys. On Friday, The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 comes out, right?
Yes.
So this is a music show, so we're going to talk about the soundtrack. And in Chloe's countdown this week, I'm going to give you guys the top 5 songs from this soundtrack. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about the soundtrack. This is something that I think is very different for any motion picture soundtrack. The producers went to Lorde and said, Lorde, we want you to handpick the artists who are going to work on this. Not only did she handpick them, she sings on 4 tracks and co-wrote 5 of them, which is really crazy.
That's awesome.
That she personally, I mean, what's cool that they picked Lorde is Lorde sort of fits with the main character of this movie. You know, she's a young 18-year-old. It's kind of dark and moody, and that's sort of what these films are about. So it was a really interesting way to make a soundtrack, and the soundtrack is dark, and it sort of fits this whole theme. It was really brilliantly done, I thought. All right, so what I think the number 1 track is Grace Jones' Original Beast. Lorde was able to get Grace Jones to come out of retirement. That's insane.
Wow.
That is
I
insane.
mean, Lorde, are you like, did she really have that much pull in the industry? I was
I
really
guess.
surprised. And then 2, The Leap by Tenacity, which is beautiful and dark and really cool. And then Flicker, which is the Kanye West rework, which is on the soundtrack. And he is not on the track at all. He literally just produced it. You don't hear him once.
He loves
which
Lorde.
I thought was super surprising. But his rework really, really does make it better. Dead Air featuring Churches is number 4. Really great on this one. And then number 5 is Scream My Name by Tovlo. And this whole soundtrack is powerful females, which fits the film. And honestly, kudos, Lorde. Like, you really, really did it. I am throwing mad props to you because this soundtrack, it just gets you in the feel for this movie. And yeah, ready to see it. It comes out on Friday, everyone. So check it out. The premiere was on Monday, and you can see all those photos there and read all what the critics have to say, but I'm sure it's amazing.
And you can't get enough this Kentucky girl back here, Miss
J-Law.
Flores. We love her. So speaking of a country girl, right? Let's get into some chasing country with Southern Wit today. We're going to do a little honky talk. And first off, we're going to talk about an album review that dropped yesterday, November 17th, Miss Trisha Yearwood.
Oh.
And her album's called Prize Fighter, Hit After Hit. Now, it's funny because last week we actually talked about her hubby, Garth, dropping his album. So it's kind of cool. They are on tour together, a world tour. How fun is that to be with
Who's
your
in
husband?
that picture?
Let's get to that.
Okay.
So the title track from Trisha's album is called Prize Fighter, and it is a duet with the one and only Jason's love of his life, Kelly Clarkson. And it's amazing.
I love it.
And let me just tell you what Trisha said about Kelly. She says she calls her the real deal. And let's be honest, they like geek out when they get to work with each other. I read an article about them being like, oh my gosh, it's Kelly Clarkson. Oh my gosh, it's Trisha Yearwood. So they have a blast while they do it. But her album will have 10 of her hits from the past, but also 6 new songs. So there's definitely something to check out. And this is actually her 12th studio album.
Wow.
But this is the first one out in 7 years. Wow. She has been on hiatus, cooking it up.
Yeah.
Living with her hubby Garth. So pretty cool stuff.
I like the way that they're doing that. You sort of a greatest hits, but also bringing
Yeah.
in more than just one new track, but 6. That's really cool.
So it's good to kind of hear where her sound's gone now.
yeah.
So you really don't need a reason to go to Sin City, if we're honest, but I'm going to give you one. And it's these guys back here, Rascal Flatts, award-winning country group. They're actually doing a residency at the Joint at the Hard Rock Cafe.
Wow.
So that starts in February, and it's called, let me get this right, Rascal Flatts Vegas Riot.
I love
and
it.
so they'll be there for 9 shows, and you know that's just going to be fun. I mean, Vegas
You know
is the
what?
place.
Rascal Flatts, not really my thing. Their live show is incredible.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I saw Rascal Flatts like 3 times between middle school and high school. Took a big break, didn't see them for a while, and then I saw them this year when they came to LA, and honestly, I went to the show because Sheryl Crow was opening, and I live and die for Sheryl Crow. And I was so pleasantly surprised. They still have it.
Oh, yeah. They are so
doing
good.
it.
Rascal Flatts, so check them out in Vegas, you guys. So in another concert, we'll talk about somebody else. Chase Rice, he's kind of a newbie. He just
so
released,
hot.
well, yeah, we know he looks good, and the
He
ladies
can
love
ignite
him.
my night.
So I just went to his show for the Ignite the Night tour at House of Blues in Anaheim, and it was sold out. So you can imagine how many ladies were there to check this guy out. But it was a really cool show because I saw him last year when he was out here. But seeing him again and kind of with a new album and new songs, you see kind of the raw ones like Jack Daniels and Jesus, the one that he wrote. But then you see some of his new ones like Ride and Gonna Wanna Tonight, and a lot of different ones. So he's definitely one of the sexy country men out there singing some sexy songs. But speaking of, I want to talk about his opener, Mr. Michael Ray. So you see a picture of me with him here. I chatted with him before the show, and he is definitely an AVF breakout star. He is going to be huge. So check out a little, get to know him. I'll show you a little bit of the interview here. So let's take it back. I want to know how you ended up being a country musician in the first place. I know you kind of grew up around music, but tell us your story.
Well, my family had a band, and my grandfather kept playing. And after they kind of, split, not really split, but just started doing jobs and stuff like that. And I was playing with him and my dad and different friends and family, and then started playing clubs and bars when I was 16, and then started writing songs and going back and forth to Nashville. And fast forward a bunch of sleepless nights and nights in my Ford Escape with 7 dudes. And
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah. So that's what we used to travel in, man. So having a 15-passenger van is rough for some people, but for us, it's a big blessing.
Yeah. Could you imagine 15 guys or 7 guys in a I can't.
I sure
would
can.
like to be in there.
I know, that's what I was thinking
Yo,
too.
but listen, he was super cool. He's someone definitely to watch. But go check out the rest of the interview. He talks about playing with Porter Wagner growing up, which is insane. And also tells me the one thing he can't live without on the road, but I'm not going to tell you. So you got to go to AmericanVoiceFactor.com
I like that
to
tease.
see the rest of the interview with Michael Ray.
Amazing. So what do you got coming up next week, Whit?
Oh, goodness. We got another concert review. I'm going to the Jared Neiman concert, so I'll bring you some good stuff from that for sure.
Amazing. And what about you, Jason?
I'll be reviewing Kelly Clarkson's concerts.
Oh. And
I
I was going to say, please don't tell me you're adopting a dog now with Kelly.
Oh my God, I would adopt
He would.
anything Kelly told me to, including a baby.
Okay.
That's
Coming
all.
next week. Well, thank you guys so much for watching AVF Replay This Week in Music in about 10 minutes-ish. I'm Chloe West.
I'm Jason Ikeler.
And I'm Whitney Lane.
You guys can find us all on Twitter and Instagram and, of course, at AmericanVoiceFactor.com. We will see you right here next week.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Everybody wanna